All right, we are back with Coach Q today. Coach, the Spartans are on quite a roll. Hadn't lost a game since the opener, and then went up to Findlay, the rivalry. Talk about that game a little bit. Spartans didn't look quite the same Friday, did they?
No, not at all. I think overall, I think the layoff hurt us. But more importantly, it's kind of like the Ohio State-Michigan football. I think Findlay's kids take it more of a rivalry, and we seem to miss the fact that it's a rivalry game. And probably that starts with me. I try to downplay the whole rivalry thing as much as possible, but it's definitely a rivalry, and those guys, you got to tip their hat. They had a game plan. They executed it extremely well. We didn't execute our game plan the way that we should have, and shots wasn't falling for us. We got a lot of open looks, but the shots wasn't falling for us, and I think it hindered us defensively from a frustration standpoint, and they was able to beat us up pretty bad.
What do you learn from that game? What do you take now moving forward here the second half of the season?
You learn how to take the DVD and throw it away. You move forward and you go back to doing the things that you've done that's been conducive to the winning that we've had up until this point. But we'll watch the film. We'll watch it from a defensive standpoint. If we get those open looks again, I want my guys taking those shots. We're not going to shy away from the opportunity to make shots. We invest too much time in the gym from shooting the ball for us not to be able to take those confident shots in the game. But defensively, we had a letdown, and I think that probably was from the layoff. At least I'm hoping. So we can definitely watch the film and get back to doing some things from a defensive standpoint that'll help us going forward.
So looking ahead now, a couple of big games coming up. Starting out with going up to Whitmer on Friday night. They're undefeated in the TRAC by themselves now. I mean, what's it going to take to beat a team like that?
We got to have a lot of energy. We got to have a tremendous week of practice this week, which I believe we will. Those guys are really good up there, number 3 in the state. So it's going to definitely be an opportunity where we can have some identity for ourselves as a basketball team. And I'm excited. I think the guys are excited to get in here and get back working. Our schedule is definitely not easy now. We got obviously Whitmer on Friday, and then we come home and we have Ottawa-Glandorf, who's really good as well. But we have to take one game first, and Whitmer's obviously the most important game because we still want to put ourselves in position to try to win our conference. But it's going to be tough. Just like any road game in this conference is tough, but we have to do a better job defensively. We have to do a better job of rebounding, and our shot selection has to be better, and I believe it will.
What are the weapons that the Whitmer has that you really need to focus on this week?
They got the guys that I consider the 4 horsemen. They got 4 guys that's been starting since they've been sophomores. Starting with Trey Soroka, the point guard. He makes everything go. And so he's going to be the guy that we have to know where he is. He finds guys. He has a tendency of leading that team with and without the ball. He's very vocal. He has a high basketball IQ. And he's going to be able to put those guys in position to do well like they've been doing up until this point. We got to know where Colbert is. He's overall, in my opinion, the best player. He's a kid that should be recruited from a collegiate level standpoint a lot better than he is. He's about 6'5", 6'6", and can do practically everything. So we have to know where those 2 guys are if we want to have a chance to win. And they just play good as a team. We got to defend. We got to execute some toughness. And if we can do that, I like our chances.
So an OG on Saturday, then followed up by LCC on Tuesday. Non-conference games, but how big are these games? Local teams and.
Correct. Being a local team, you want to try to make a statement, similar to the Elida type game, and having OG come here is always kind of like a home game for both of us because they bring a tremendous crowd. They bring a tremendous crowd to back those guys up, which is great. But to have those guys come here and play hard, and then follow up with LCC, crosstown rival is going to be good, and so. But anytime you play a team that's local, you definitely want to make a statement. You take it very, very serious. It's not a conference game, but for bragging rights, it is an extreme serious game of that magnitude.
As you're going forward now, I mean, who's the kids that you're going to look to that's really got to step up? If you guys are going to beat a Whitmer, go far in the tournament, who's a kid?
Correct. We want to do more. We want Jalil King to do more for us. He's kind of been our glue guy up until this point, but he was an all-conference guy last year. He's kind of subjected himself into giving up a role for other pieces, but I've been telling him that I want him to look to score more. I want him to be more aggressive on the offensive end. Other than that, we're looking for Deshaun Clare, who's been playing well lately to step up. Hadn't played a lot early. Had a great one-on-one meeting with him, and he's been investing a lot of time. We look for him to be another threat at both ends of the floor for us going forward.
Let me talk about X a little bit with you. Huge game on Sunday, 24 points. I mean, he's getting all kinds of media attention. I mean, what are you seeing from his game, and how far is he going to go, do you think?
Yeah, I'm seeing that hook shot work well for him. It's kind of funny. He started working on that. Him and I was just kind of the rebounder, and I was extremely frustrated with him doing that shot after our workouts, and I'm asking him, why, what, when, what's the reason for this shot? And he kind of explained to me the way that the officials are going to call the game now with the bigs, and so you have to be able to get a shot off. You can't no longer jump into the bigs chest area and get a foul. If they jump straight up, that's not going to be a foul, and so he has to find other ways and other avenues to try to get a shot off. And it's funny because I've seen him work at that shot for 30, 40 minutes after our workouts, and it's touching to see that it's falling for him. But he's playing well. They're 17-0. He's the leader behind that group. And I think Beeline appreciates that, and you couldn't ask for a better coach coaching him. Beeline has done a tremendous job with point guards, and X has put himself in position. We all know the work that he does as far as before practice, after practice, investing time in the game. And so as much as I want to say I'm surprised, I'm really not, because he's one of the kids that's truly put in the time to get where he is today.